My recording button. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Red Road Paranormal. We're here with your favorite Resnick, our favorite medium, Miss Christina Bloom,
Hello.
and a good friend of ours, Mr. Larry from
Hello,
Small Town
hello.
Productions. How we doing today, Larry?
I'm doing really good. Doing really good. Excited to be back on the show with you guys. So, looking forward to what we're going to talk about today.
Awesome.
Yep,
Awesome.
we always love having you on. It's always a good time.
All right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Larry for those of you who are not familiar with him, which would be like nobody I know, but
Yeah,
whatever. We'll
everyone
jump
knows
in.
Larry.
I get around. You know what I'm saying? Get around.
That he
As
does. That he does.
as seen on the 44th annual Telly Award-winning series Expedition Entity from Paraflix Paranormal and Network, Larry is an author, filmmaker, and historian who focuses on lesser-known haunted locations in the American Midwest. His current research project focuses on the Black Hawk War of 1832, where he has published his findings in his book Ghosts of the Black Hawk War. Larry is also the co-author of the fictional Afterlife anthology, which he wrote together with Dan Norville and published through Haunted Road Media. Afterlife Anthology is a collection of paranormal short stories where the story is told from the ghost perspective that are loosely based on Dan and Larry's paranormal or real life activities. And here we are,
That's me.
Larry
Awesome.
Eissler. Yeah. And as Rez has already said, the owner and proprietor of Small Town. Oh, I lost it. Small Town
Productions.
Productions.
Productions. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I think I'll just like cut myself into the background. Y'all can talk.
We got this. Don't worry.
I gotta let the cat out of the bag, guys. It's early in the morning. Scheduling this time. We don't work this early. So if it's a little discombobulated, sorry.
Yeah.
Roll with it. Enjoy it.
Enjoy the shenanigans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rez and I sound like this because we still have our morning voice.
Yeah. Just I haven't had 30 cigarettes and 10 cans of sun dropping me yet. So I just don't sell myself.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. That's
It's
a lot.
okay.
Well, here we go. I got my coffee. We're good.
My coffee's upstairs waiting to be made. Didn't have the time, so I'm just like,
Oh.
well, I'm gonna do this.
All
I'm
right.
gonna
Here
do
we
this.
are, Mr. Eisler,
Yeah.
uncaffeinated.
Uncaffeinated, still sleepy-eyed, still
This
got
is a
the
first.
still got the sleepy voice, but
Hmm.
I'm here.
Yes.
Excellent. And thank
Well, we
you.
greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for playing nice and switching up time frames with me so I could keep a different obligation. I appreciate that.
No worries.
So, every time that I look on social media, Larry is posting from a different location. I mean, I swear to
Yes.
God, you are the only
Yeah.
person I know who travels more than I do.
It's it's so exhausting. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. Like, this is what I want to do. I want
Hmm.
to travel, I want
Same.
to go places, I want to meet people, and I want to hear stories. But I swear, I hate the drive. Like 8 hours of nothing but fields in Wisconsin and then upper Michigan, 11 and a half hours going through Ohio and Pennsylvania. Yay.
See, now for me, I
I
love the drive. Like that is the only alone time I get.
Sure,
So I love
sure.
it.
See, I'm the opposite. Is I'm an introvert. So, this is a discussion that I had with a few people, Diet and Dave Schrader and a bunch of people about how people in the paranormal, we all give this perception that we're these bigger than life characters and we're very extroverted. And in reality, most of us are actually introverts.
Hmm.
We just happen to
yeah.
work an extroverted job and it's super tiring for us.
It can
So
be, yeah.
as much of an introvert as I am, I like being in my space when I'm introverted. Being in the car for long periods of time, I would much rather have somebody else in the car with me just to help pass that time. Even if I'm doing all the driving, that's okay. Just
Right.
having somebody there to share the experience with me, I'm all about that.
All right, y'all
Um,
listening to this, he's looking for a travel partner.
uh,
There you
I
go.
think I think at one point I called them a booth buddy. A booth
uh,
buddy would be great.
a booth buddy,
Let's go.
awesome.
Because
All
sometimes,
right.
when you're at like a 3-day conference and there's no one there to help you, It's like I need to find a volunteer or somebody that I trust to watch my booth so I can go get something to eat, so I can go to the bathroom, so I can go get a drink.
Been
And
doing that for
sometimes,
years. I get that.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes there's nobody. You're at a conference, you don't know anyone there, and you're like, crap, there's no volunteers. I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck
I
here.
got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah. You got a volunteer right here. Here you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll put you to work.
We'll start a new documentary. We're going to document everywhere we go together. It's called the Resin Larry Experiment.
That's right. Right. We'll put this one straight to YouTube. That way I don't have to worry about any issues.
Right.
There you go.
All live,
Bam.
raw,
Done.
uncut. We just got to
That's
make
right.
sure our mouths don't get us in trouble.
Well, I'll be on that bleep button like beep, beep, beep. Just in case.
Good.
Just in case.
Yeah. Because when I'm not on here, yeah, you need the bleep button.
Oh yeah. I mean, I try really hard not to swear a lot, but if you know me outside of the camera, I swear a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I spent 10 years in the army, and some things you just don't break. You don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Swearing is
I
one of
hear ya.
them. I can't eat for longer than like 5 minutes. Like I shovel it in and I go. That's another thing I couldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
Showers. I take quick showers. I take cold showers because half the time, you don't have hot water. Some things you just don't get rid of.
Yeah.
Yep. Some things just stick with you.
Yeah.
They get ingrained in you, and you're just there to
Right.
become who you are.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with it. I've heard that eating really fast is bad for your digestion and stuff like that. So, when I'm around other people, I try to slow down a little bit just so that, I don't make them feel awkward because I'm done eating and they're still eating little bits.
See,
But
we're perfect to travel together because, I go to buffet, I'm done and out in 20 minutes, and I'm stuffed.
yeah,
7 plates later, let's go.
7 plates later. That's right. That's how you have to do it at the buffet. Because by
Yeah.
the time you come back up for the second plate, it's either gone or it's cold.
Yeah.
It's like I got it hot and I got it full, loaded on. Let's just keep going.
Yep.
Wow. That's
You're
all
gonna
I
see
got.
this one going
Wow.
anywhere.
So we're gonna spend this whole next hour, guys, talking about food at the buffet. So
Yep.
Well, in that case, what's your favorite buffet?
well, there used to
Anything
be
with
Old
kitten on a
Country
stick.
Buffet. What's that?
Anything with kitten on a stick on the menu.
What is that?
Kitten on a stick?
Yeah.
Them Chinese buffets, they got the little chicken on a stick, kitten on
Okay.
a stick,
Oh yeah.
General
Yeah.
Towels Rottweiler.
Right. I
You
get
know.
it now. I get it now. So the Panda Express stuff.
I like a grade above pan.
Great above. Okay. So for
Yeah.
me, there used to be one by me called Old Country Buffet.
Yeah, I
Yep.
remember Old Country
Um,
Buffet.
and so many of them closed, but they really weren't that bad.
No.
Yeah.
Food quality wise, they were good.
Yep.
Seating, they were fine. There wasn't ever like I need to wait an hour and a half to get in.
Right?
The only thing I have now is Golden Corral. That's a real buffet by me, and it's like, ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've gone downhill.
heavily downhill. For some reason, they don't have enough staffing to fill the entire restaurant half the time. So there's this long line for half of the table space. And it's like, open the doors to that room over there and maybe we can get some more people in. But I just discovered a new place by me. It is I don't even know what to call it. It's a restaurant that is hot pot, Korean barbecue, and sushi.
Ooh, that
Um,
sounds
a-
good.
And if
Right?
you do the hot pot, there's a buffet attached to it. And the
Interesting.
buffet is like all of the Korean sides, the hot pot sides, the sushi sides, soups, different salads, all this and then little desserts like tiramisus and stuff like that. I mean, it's just open. If you get the hot pot, you get the rest of it. So,
When are we going to dinner?
well, it gets even better because if you order the hot pot, it's an additional $5 upcharge for all you can eat sushi.
I can deal with that.
And it's
I
not
get my
like the
sushi
basic.
moods.
It's not like, California or Philly. It's like the good ones, like the Godzillas and the dragons and yeah. Like this I
Nice.
like this place. I like this place. It's only $30 too.
Nice.
You could like
Yes.
gorge yourself for $30.
Wow. I wasn't even hungry until about like right now.
Right?
You got to be
The fat
careful.
boy is coming out of me.
We
The
can make
fat
this a
boy
food
is
talk
coming
real
out.
easy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any ongoing projects or recently finished projects that you can talk about?
I have I have a lot.
I know
Um,
you do. I've been watching.
right now
Yep.
I'm doing the seance at the Rough House with Neil Gibbons and Diet. Neil is hosting the event on October 26th, and Diet is the psychic medium who we're channeling a hopefully we get all the tickets sold, a 200-person seance into the middle where Diet's at,
Okay.
and then conducting a seance at the Roth House in Watsika, Illinois, which is also called the Watsika Wonder House. So,
Oh,
that name might be more recognizable.
yeah.
Um, in the mid 1800s, when the house was built by Asa Roth, Asa was a devout spiritualist. So, during the whole miracle for Asa's daughter, Mary Roth, who passed away and then inhabited the body of Lorenzi Venom, they did things like a seance and stuff like that. So we're conducting our seance approximately in the same space they did theirs.
Cool.
And this massive, hopefully, influx of energy. We're 200 plus people going into one center person. We're hoping it's going to spike energy in the house. And then we're going to do, me, Neil did a preliminary investigation. We're just the three of us. This is your baseline. If you walk in the house, this is the investigation you get. And then during the event, during the day, there's security cameras and microphones recording everything. So as people rotate through the house, we're going to see what happens, what they get, what they capture, or what they experience. And then the seance, and then there's the nighttime investigations. And we're going to see the difference between, before the seance and after the seance. And I think some really cool things could happen. But
Cool.
Oh
the
yeah.
documentary itself is about the seance and about Diet's connection to the major players of the property. Which during the interview, during her initial walkthrough, before she experienced anything, she was hitting on stuff. And I'm behind the camera, so for all intents and purposes, I don't exist, right? Like it's just
Hmm.
Neil and Diet show. I'm just here holding my camera, and I had to like hide my face behind the camera because I don't have a poker face. If something amazing happenings, I'm like, so she hit some stuff. She
Cool.
hit some stuff. And
Nice.
she's like, I'm so all over the place. None of this stuff makes sense to me. And me and Neil are like, ha, 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 just wait, just wait. So that's the big one that I'm working on right now. And then every time I don't have a project, I have my own stuff I'm working on.
Right.
So I'm working on one. It's called Haunted or Not, Blood's Point Cemetery, and I did that one 2 years ago with Miranda Young as the host. And then we brought in a woman named Kathy Kressel, a really, really great historian, and she runs the Illinois Paranormal Conference in Rockford, Illinois. She's a fantastic historian. So we brought her in to do the history of some of the urban legends around Bloods Point Cemetery. And it's all shot, it's done. It's just as I'm editing it now, every time some paid project comes up, I have to backburner it
Right.
until the paid project is done, and then I can pick it back up again, and then a new project comes in.
I totally
So
understand that because I have the same thing with writing my books. You
yeah,
know, the books get backburnered when there's events going on or whatever. So I get that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like, if someone's paying me to do a job, I have to
Hmm.
focus on their job.
Right.
Yep.
So, and I feel bad. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad. I want to get this out. I want people to see the cool stuff, but it's like they're paying me, so
Yeah.
I, I got to
Yep.
do it.
We all
Um,
have bills to
Prioritize.
pay. Yep. We all have
yeah,
bills. So,
right.
yep.
And if like Raz said, prioritize. If you're
Hmm.
giving me a project to do, that's not my project. It's your project, and I'm trying to deliver the best that I can. I have to prioritize you.
Right.
So, and that's this is how it goes. Which also doesn't help the fact that I have two books in the making that are one of them finally hit beta readers. I'm really happy about that. But the other one is just waiting now. until I get time to finish it.
Yeah, me too.
One day, one day.
Yep, I have 2 books in the making right now too, and a third one kind of simmering in the back of my mind.
I've got the
So,
simmer too. I've
yep.
got the simmer too.
Yeah.
The problem with the one that's simmering is copyright infringement.
Oh,
The content
Uh-oh.
of the book that I want to do, I have to go and get permission from a lot of different places to include things that normally they charge a lot of money to include.
oh,
So I'm
Well,
trying to work my way around this one. That's why it's still simmering. It's not quite ready
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
well, this is how we do this. You and me, we go in there to wherever these places are, whoever's in charge.
Hmm.
We teach them about the 3 R's.
Oh,
You know what the 3 R's are? This is
uh,
from growing up in
enlighten me.
Chicago.
Okay.
The roof, the river, the revolver. They will agree to anything you want.
That's right.
If it really gets bad, we take them to the zoo. We just dangle them over the lion's cage until we get what we want.
Absolutely. Well, I
So
know some
you
of these
need me.
buildings they're in are very tall buildings, so the roof is probably
Oh,
not going to be a good option for them.
yeah, yeah. They'll definitely scream and yell and give us what we want then.
Absolute. Done. Done deal.
So let's set up the meetings, bring me down there and
Oh
let's
my
go.
God.
I'll get you what you
This
want.
is this is my enforcer. His name is Rez. He's gonna
Yeah.
dangle you off the roof if you don't listen to me.
I'll make
Yeah,
them enough where they can't refuse. Eh?
yeah. I hope that everyone takes this as tongue in cheek as it's intended.
100%, 100%.
Hey,
For
if they
legal
know
purposes,
us,
this is all a joke.
Yeah,
if
it's a
they know
joke.
us, they should know
Yeah.
we talk a lot of smack.
That's right.
It just has to be
Especially
early
early
in
in
the
the morning.
morning and more is
Yeah,
coming out.
there it is. There it is.
The
We have
filters are not there yet.
we haven't put the filters in yet.
Wow. That sounds
Definitely.
like the seance thing sounds like a really interesting project. Where does it go once it's completed? Like, where does it get published?
So that I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
There is a gentleman that I'm in the talks with to put it into somewhere larger. But he wants to see it first.
Of
And you never
course.
know. They might see it
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, this isn't quite what we envisioned. We're not going to take it. Or he'll be like, yeah, done. Sign the contract.
Right.
If not, there's a website called Film Freeway.
Oh,
Or Film Hub. Film Freeway is the other one. Film Hub. And Film Hub is basically an aggregate, for lack of a better term, that sends your stuff out to different streaming networks.
gotcha.
And then whoever picks you up then distributes it as as seen on Tubi or Freevee or Pluto or whatever.
Okay.
So that's always an option, and it's a really good option for indie filmmakers. Film Hub to self distribute is really the best way to go right now, because distribution networks they're basically ripping people off,
Right.
and there isn't a single one really that isn't ripping people off. So what they do is they'll take your film and they'll make you all these promises, but the contract is 75 pages long, and then there's little tweaks in the language that makes it so that they really don't have to pay you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Or they'll keep your film for like 10 years and you can't do anything else with it. Or they'll bill you for advertising for things where it's like you didn't advertise. How is that worth $300? And it was like a Facebook ad that they didn't boost. They just put it on their Facebook as a post, $300. So it'll chip away at your revenue there to where you're not getting anything from them.
Right.
But they could also buy your film to vault it to where they don't put it anywhere. They just picked it up and they're like, oh, sorry, no one wanted it. And
Uh-huh.
that happens. It's crazy. So websites like Film Hub and Indie Rights, they're really picking up steam right now for indie filmmakers, because now I have control. I can send it where I want to send it.
Right.
And you know, websites or services like Tubi are great. Tubi's paying really well compared to everybody else. Amazon Prime, you're lucky to get 12 cents per thousand views. Most people are
Mhm.
getting like 3 cents per thousand views. So Amazon pays nothing, but then you get a million views. So that's the balancing act for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
so
can you run on more than one site at a time? Like, can you be on Tubi and Amazon? And
100%.
secondly,
So all of those services are non-exclusive. So Tubi can pick you up as exclusive to where then you're only on Tubi and that's it. You become a Tubi original.
okay,
Um, but for the most part, most people are non-exclusive and they have their films on 7 different services.
I was going to
Um,
say, I know I've seen like the same shows on several different services. So,
yeah, yeah, because
yeah.
they're not exclusive. They don't get paid very well because they're not exclusive. You can see them in other places.
Hmm.
Um, but each platform has their own audience. There's someone
yep,
who loves Tubi, who loves Freevee, who loves Amazon Prime, and that's where they go for most of their watching. So, having your film distributed in multiple places is really helpful for that because you don't know who you're going to get.
Right.
right,
So, the worst thing you can do is lock down your project in one location that doesn't get viewership, and then nobody sees it. You spent all this time and money on it, and nobody can enjoy the work that you put into it.
yeah,
So it, it,
that,
it becomes hard.
It's kind of similar with books too. You
Yeah.
know, if you go through a traditional publisher and they decide to buy your book and then shelve it,
Hmm. Hmm.
you have no
Hmm.
rights. You sign them
Absolutely.
away. Yeah. That's why
Absolutely.
so many people are doing more of the indie publishing as well as with books and self-publishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like going through Haunted Road Media with Mike Ricksecker. He's very supportive of all of his authors.
That's
Um,
cool.
and he's got quite a few. So for his Haunted Road Media Facebook, he kind of rotates through them, making posts about their books and whatnot, getting them into stores and working with smaller stores to do
Hmm.
orders so they can get the book in so that I don't have to worry about it. Like they take care of all that.
Right.
nice.
And then of course it's available on Amazon, like almost all books are.
Hmm.
And then I can order however many books I want from him, and then he just ships it to my house.
Right.
So I've heard horror stories of really bad publication companies like Author House being really, really, really bad. To where like they wanted $1,500 up front to do stuff
Yeah.
and then do absolutely nothing for you afterwards.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is such a ripoff because they're still getting their cut after the fact.
Yes, they are.
But because they got that 1,500 up front, they already got paid. They don't have to help you push your book.
Hmm.
Like that's it. They're done. They got their money. If they make anything else, cool. If not, they still got $1,500 because that's probably what most authors are going to make for them anyway.
Right.
So
Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough out here, and this doesn't just apply to the paranormal, it applies to anybody.
Right.
yep,
Exactly.
Anyone writing a book, anyone making a film or a doc or it
Hmm.
just so happens we're in the paranormal doing it. But
yep,
Right.
yeah, it's widespread.
It is. Yeah. With spiritual books, with, just even children's books,
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
authors make next to nothing. It's
Really.
really, yeah.
And that's why authors have like 50 books
Hmm.
because, if one book brings in $10 and they have 50 books, well, hey, I made $500 this month
Yep.
off
yep,
of 50 books.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I only have two out there that are published, and it's still, sometimes I'll get nothing, sometimes I'll get $7.36 or,
Hmm.
it's really interesting though that, I mean, I assumed it was the same with the film industry and to some extent probably the
Yeah.
music industry as well. Um,
Yeah.
where the artists who are the creators of all of this are really the ones who get screwed in the end.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
yep,
I know for the book side, when I go to conferences,
Mhm.
I make a lot of money back. I have
Mhm.
an easy time selling those books there because I can sit and talk to the person about the book.
Right.
yep,
And then yeah, I sell it for the Amazon price, and then I get that little bit more in person than I would with Amazon because Amazon takes a bigger cut through Amazon.
Right.
So,
yep,
Yeah.
I'm always pushing books at events, and
Mhm.
I do pretty well. On the film side, I have a lot of friends who are trying the DVD route, and they're struggling because it's like who watches DVDs anymore?
Right.
You know,
yep,
and and without that, you're on a streaming network. You're at the mercy of the streaming network. There's nothing you can do.
Right.
Music side, I imagine it's much the same. Now you've got YouTube Music, you've got Spotify, you've got, iTunes Music. You can get stuff out that way, but they're not getting paid well.
Right.
So, what do? You try to sell CDs. Who has a CD player?
I don't anymore. You can't even buy a car with a CD player in it. I mean, you
No,
can
no,
get one that plugs into auxiliary, I suppose, but
right? A little Walkman, if they still have those
Yeah.
around.
No, I
But
think them are obsolete.
Yeah,
right,
but you can find them
yeah,
in secondhand stores.
probably,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, then what does the artist do then? Anything they can,
Anything they can, exactly.
anything.
Just like all of us, who are out there being creators and
Mhm.
content creators. Wow. There's a lot to go through, and it's like the traditional publishing and even like the Hollywood industry it's really going away
It
slowly.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Streaming really did a lot of damage to that.
right.
Um,
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
in certain regards, it's not
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
larger projects, your
Right.
multi-million dollar projects.
Mhm.
If you're on the smaller side, it really, really hurts us
Does it? Okay.
because we have to still compete against those people.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
streaming networks, they still want the multi-million dollar projects. And then
Mhm.
when I come in with a $10,000 project, they're like, "No, sorry, buddy, you don't cut the quality. We don't want that." And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Self-distribute. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And YouTube.
YouTube,
YouTube.
which Film Hub sends your film to some YouTube channels that are basically a collection of films and
Mhm.
playlists,
Yeah.
and people watch it. People really do watch those.
Yeah.
But
I watch a lot of YouTube.
yeah. But what other options do you have at that point? None really. Not until you're ready to start paying a sales agent a lot of money to get preferential treatment. But then again, your budget now shoots up really high
Yeah.
to where, if you don't have financing in the 6 or 7 digits, you're gonna struggle. So kind of like with being a paranormal author, a podcast host, the only thing that you could really do to help yourself is you got to market yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta hit
Self
it hard
promote.
on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You gotta hit it super hard to drive people to where, in my case, my film is. And that's really the best thing you can do.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really it, getting out on social media. I
Yeah.
think everybody goes to some brand of social media these days.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, you even have kids in, middle school where they're on social media. They're not supposed to be. It's 13 and
They're
above. You're
there.
not supposed to
Right?
be, but they're there.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
So,
Yeah. Well, when we were kids, we found our own brand of getting into stuff we weren't supposed to be into, so
oh, that's for
Yeah.
sure. That's for sure.
it just wasn't as easy as getting on social media.
I remember a friend of mine in high school. He had was like an '89 Oldsmobile, like the giant powder blue boat on wheels.
Yes.
Old
And
88.
we were driving down a road, and we just happened to look up this hill and saw a log halfway up the hill, and he goes, "I'm gonna jump that log." And I'm like, I don't know if this thing can do that. So we jumped the log. Well, we didn't jump the log. We got stuck on top of the log because the,
Yeah.
the damn car is this long, and
Right.
we didn't quite make it. So we had to dig the car out just to get it over the log, and then hope that his parents didn't realize all the damage to the bottom of his car,
Yeah.
and the fact that we stole shovels for like 6 hours. But that was the kind of stuff we got into before social media.
Right.
Yeah.
Now if I did that, I would be filming the entire thing.
Exactly.
Everyone would know. It'd be huge. It'd go viral. It'd be like, look at these idiots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the world we live in nowadays.
is.
Everything is being videotaped or recorded at some point somewhere. And
Yeah.
if you're a jackass, you'll find it on the internet.
Oh yeah. And I'm guilty of that too. Every time I'm in the
Yep.
car, I'm almost live streaming one time at least,
Right.
just because for what I ended up doing, and it started with Gettysburg really, is I take these adventures, these journeys of the paranormal, and I just document them. I start with at some point on the road heading there, maybe one, maybe two, depending on time and reception. Just kind of talking about the event and what I'm looking forward to and how bored I am on the road. I get there, I do a lot of pictures, I do some reels along the way, and then do the drive home. Same thing, one or two lives, how great the event was and what I got coming up next, and then I get home and I end it with a picture of my car in the driveway. And the couple times that I've done it, people really enjoyed that.
Right.
Yep.
So, now I'm basically live streaming and doing videos and pictures of everything that I'm doing for that whole weekend. And I used to not be that way. I used to be very private and be like, "Oh, well, you guys don't need to know this. I'll put a couple pictures up and that's it." Now I'm like documenting my entire life.
It happens. It starts out that you're in the shell, and eventually you start breaking out that shell. I've
Yeah,
noticed that even with
Hmm.
myself over the last few years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with social media, especially Facebook, and the algorithm, you have to continuously hit it hard in
Yep.
order to stay in people's feeds. You have to be posting nonstop. It has to be quality posts that they engage with, or you stop showing up.
Right.
And sometimes you don't even know what's going to hit. You have no idea. It's going to be, a post that you shared because it was funny and it gets 75 likes. Oh, cool. Let me share another one just like it. 2 likes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facebook, why? Why Facebook?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. I mean, I have a group with well over 1,000 people in it, and it tells you how many people have seen it, and sometimes it's like 45 people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Where's the
I'm
rest of
I'm
them?
I'm constantly posting in that group. Why is it not showing up more? You know, I
Yeah, it's
I have
Facebook.
given up trying to figure it out. I think that a lot of us are using more than one platform for social media for
Sure,
exposure.
sure.
Like
A lot
YouTube
of people
is
my
one
age,
now.
they're using Instagram
Yeah.
because, there's less gunk on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures and videos, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to worry about all the extra stuff that annoys them. Um, and you can really see the picture without worrying about the description or the comments or anything like that. You just see it, like it, scroll.
Yep. Exactly.
So, TikTok is very big, but it's always hit or miss as to whether it's going to be here tomorrow. So
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
And I know that there are some other fringe social medias that are starting to gain some traction too, but those are
Sure.
kind of the three big ones right now.
X is
Yeah.
in there too. I can't stand X
I never
I've
could. Like I
or
tried.
I've
former Twitter.
never been there.
Yeah.
Like
I,
I've had
they do pictures, they do videos and stuff like that, but it is like a cesspool of negativity.
mm-hmm.
And I have a paranormal account on there. I don't follow anything political, and all the sponsored posts are all about politics.
Yep.
And I hate it, and I stopped using it because I'm like, this it's just negativity and it's being shoved in my face and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah. I stopped using Twitter before it became X for
Yeah.
that reason.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I just never really liked it very much.
never
Um,
signed up for it, never been on it.
Honestly,
Refused
I
to.
don't think you're missing much, but
Yeah. I don't
there
either.
there are people on there with massive followings
Yeah.
that do engage very well on Twitter. So,
I got a buddy of mine right now is constantly getting messages from them. Hey, monetize your account. You'd be making this much money every month off of your
mhm.
posts. And he's one that's constantly, dude, you need to get on this platform. Get on this platform. I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Twitter's just like Facebook though, is you have to constantly post.
mm-hmm.
Constantly. Now, the one of the key differences though is that Twitter will allow you to do text posts, and those will get distributed out. Facebook, if it's a text post, you will be very lucky if anyone sees it.
Yeah. You have to add a
Yeah.
picture, a video, something.
Pictures and videos, if you have the link
Mm-hmm.
in the description, it doesn't seem to do as well. You have to put the link in the comments below,
Yep.
and then the more tags, the more locations, the more hashtags, sometimes it seems to matter and other times it doesn't. So, I
Yeah.
have pictures where I tagged, 8 people in it because they're all in the pictures and the post does really well. It's fantastic. I have others where I tagged, the same amount of people, but then it gets like 6 views. And it's like,
Hmm.
why?
I know,
Facebook,
right?
why? Explain it to me. So,
Yeah. So
you
much
know,
of it just doesn't make sense.
yeah, and this is all stuff that, the bigger names, they don't really talk about this kind of stuff,
No.
No.
because they don't have to. They put something out, it gets 300 engagements within an hour because
Hmm.
they're the bigger names. People are
Yeah.
constantly engaging with them. They're showing up on their feeds. When you're at the 5, 6,000 followers level, it's like I have to work really hard just to get you to see stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm nowhere near 5,000 yet. And I mean, I'm still
No.
working on it, obviously, but
Mhm.
under 5,000, 45 people might see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 5,000 and sometimes 45 people might
People
see it.
see it. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better. And
Wow.
then from what I've heard, the more you grow, the harder it becomes. Once you get to 10,000, then even less people are seeing stuff. And it's like I have 10,000 followers. Why am I only getting 6 likes?
Hmm.
Why? Because
Yeah.
Facebook wants you to pay to boost stuff so that people see your stuff.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like
Exactly.
I'll don't get me wrong, I'll pay. If I'm putting a new doc out and I want to do like a teaser video, I'll pay for that. But if I'm sharing an image for a con that I have coming up, I'm not boosting that.
No.
I'm not boosting a meme that I posted just so people see it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I've never gotten any positive from using the boosting. Like it seems to make no difference.
I
Mhm.
have let's see if I can find one. I just did one not too long ago. Although it might have been so long ago that it's no longer on here because I don't really have much. So
Yeah.
okay, here's one. So for my ebook release, I did an ad and I spent $50 on this ad. So and that was $50 over the course of 20 days, which really in terms of advertising is
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
that's nothing. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of that $50, it generated a reach of 7,364 people. So that's how far it went out, the accounts that it was able to reach. And of that, the link to go to the ebook, which was on Amazon, had 168 clicks. It had 213 engagements, likes and all that stuff, reactions, and then 5 shares. So when they did the math, out of the $50 and 168 clicks, each click cost me 30 cents.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
when then you take that and then you go into Amazon and you see in your dashboard how many people have purchased, or in that case it was a pre-order, how many people pre-ordered the ebook, it is not 168.
Hmm.
I tried,
So
bro. I tried. It wouldn't let me.
really, yeah.
Yeah, there was a problem. I don't know. It wouldn't accept my phone number as a legitimate phone number,
Oh, okay, that's
which
weird.
is weird. Yeah. Like, seriously, I've
Hmm.
had the same phone number for 15 years.
But
Trust me, it's legit.
I used to have problems with it for things like my email because I switched
Yeah.
to a university email to get the discount. And then it's like they're using the wrong email. Like, no, I'm not. I switched this. Stop it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it can do the job. It could do very good things. It can get your stuff out there. It's just like with most things, I can't guarantee it's gonna get clicked on.
Right.
Yeah.
So, did I spend $50? Was that too much money? Maybe. It probably was. Whatever. But
Yeah. It's
you know,
rolling the
when I'm
dice.
when I'm doing a video though, and I want someone to watch something, then yeah, I might spend more than $50 because
Right.
I need that video to get seen to drive them to Tubi, to Paraflix, to Amazon Prime, and
Yep.
pray that they jump on board.
Right. It's very
So,
interesting how sometimes, like, I will literally go into like Amazon Prime or Tubi or, if, I'm sorry, YouTube is the worst at this. I can't
mhm.
find what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, YouTube can be rough. Especially like if you mix your regular daily watch with like your paranormal watch, because then it's just scattered all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they recommend things and it's like, why is that on my recommendations? Like
Right.
I don't watch
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yep.
Exactly. And seriously, I mean, if they're basing it on my algorithm of what I watch between my paranormal, my spiritual, whatever, who's in my account? Because none of this stuff is stuff I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy.
Sometimes from what I found is especially using Chrome, if I'm signed in on my one account, I think that's the YouTube I'm using. But if I were to actually go to YouTube, it's actually signed into a different account.
Yep.
So
Yep.
then every time I watch a video, it applies to my personal YouTube and not my ghost hunting YouTube. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching like Blood Moon Paranormal and Brandon Johnson and all these guys, and it's messing up the algorithm for my personal account. So now I can't go and I can't find the other stuff.
Right.
So it's
That's
it's it's a
crazy.
it's a rough social media world out there.
It is. It is. And we didn't know where
Yep.
this conversation was going to go, but I feel like this is going to be helpful for some people.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think so.
Yeah.
definitely.
Especially, if you're
Mm-hmm.
if you're at that phase in, well, let's just go the paranormal route. For paranormal documentary making and filmmaking and whatnot. And you're like, I'm ready to bump up to the next level. Um, People are very disillusioned on that. They think they're going to go to Amazon Prime and they're going to get 1 million views and get thousands of dollars, or, I'm going to be on Netflix or Discovery Plus, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, really, really difficult.
Yep.
And the shows that get on the bigger networks, they have like a budget of $1 million per episode.
Yeah.
So until you're throwing down $1 million an episode, you have a camera crew of like 30 people, or like a production crew of 30 people. You have an actual producer that already has connections to the network. Um, you know, Set your goals a little smaller and then build up with multiple goals instead of just swinging for the fences.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's where the self-distribution comes in. Get on Amazon Prime, even if it's for $1 rental, get on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Get on Tubi, get on Freevee, get on Paraflix, Beacon. Just get there. Get there, put that little logo next to your name, and then build and build and build and get better and get new equipment and work with new people, build
Yep.
your team up. And then eventually, maybe a couple years down the road, then you can say, hey, I have a budget of, 50,000 for this doc. This might be something where I can try to go a little bit bigger on. Don't just come off of YouTube and go straight for the fences,
Right.
because you're going to get disillusioned, you're going to get burned out, and then you're going to quit.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. And it's like I have, again, because I've been in the publishing world, the print publishing. It's very similar. It's very similar. We did 1 year with Moonbow Publications and Productions, publishing other people's books and offering a really good deal to authors, and really
mm,
losing our backsides on it.
yeah,
Because it was really crazy, but it's so expensive to
right,
publish, and the authors make, again, next to nothing. But as
right.
publishers, we were making next to nothing because we were trying to give the authors a break.
Sure.
you know
And that's where on the film side people are struggling because
hmm
like let's take the Conjuring House for example. It's a very like hot topic right now, but
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
lots of
Yep.
go I'm gonna go
controversy.
a different route on it.
Okay.
I was supposed to film the Conjuring House with Expedition Entity. Dan and Jen and Steve and I were all gonna go to Conjuring House. I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, I want to do an investigation there. Cheapest days possible. It was a Sunday and a Monday. They had a lot of those open. They're like, yeah, we could do that for 2 days, about $2,000. And I'm like, cool. So then we started talking about filming, about getting location releases and all the permits signed and all that stuff. Simply because I was going to film there, my price almost doubled to $5,200
Hmm.
only because I'm filming. And the reason is because Jacqueline, was tired of these people coming in and filming all this stuff, putting it out there, and then making a bunch of money on it. And I'm like, you think we make money on this?
Right?
What do you think the network is paying you for me to come in there? No, I'm paying you. This comes out of my pocket, and then I
Uh-huh.
don't
Yeah.
make money afterwards. There's no money in this. I'm doing this because I like doing it,
Yeah.
and because then I can go to conferences and maybe make my money back. Most of the time, no, because you're lucky to break
Mm-hmm.
even at a conference, especially hotels nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money to be made. And you have locations that are charging you extra thinking that they're getting a slice of the pie, and it's like it's just coming out of my pocket even more now.
Right.
Yep.
And the networks don't pay anything, especially when you're small,
Mm-hmm.
because you can pump out content like it's nothing, because to them it is nothing.
Yep.
So, and then that's why, with even with the self-distribution, Amazon's not going to pay you. Tubi will pay you decently. You can make a little bit, but then you have to drive people to Tubi to get them to watch it there. And if you can't, you don't make anything.
Right.
So, yeah, as the artist, you're getting screwed. And I mean, really, the network isn't making too much off of you unless
No.
you're bringing in a ton of people.
Yeah.
So, there's no money to be made anywhere. And I think that's the biggest thing is people think that, oh, you're on Paraflix, so you must be really rolling in the dough. Like, no, no. I'm not a millionaire.
No.
I'm not 100,000-aire. I still have jobs and stuff outside of what I did for Expedition Eddie.
Yeah.
Nobody is rich in the paranormal,
No.
because well, maybe Zach Baggins, but if people were rich in the paranormal, you wouldn't see people like Dave and Shane at every single conference,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because they wouldn't need to be there because they're rich, right?
Right.
Well, no, they're at every single conference because that's how they get paid. They go to conferences
Yep.
Yeah.
because they're not rich.
Yeah. And then there's
So,
those of us who are still paying to be at the conference.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes,
So,
sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes they pay me to show up. Other times I'm lucky to get a hotel room, and then
mm-hmm.
I barely break even. And then other times still, like the Michigan Paracon, I paid everything up front. Hotel, the booth, travel, and I was very fortunate to break even on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many people that don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't, either they don't have enough to sell, or the hotel, by the time they got the hotel, was like 400 a night. And it just, there's not always an opportunity to break even. Sometimes you have to take the loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the paranormal.
Right. I actually do better when I go to like the wellness and spiritual fairs.
Terry's stuff.
So, well, Terry and a bunch of others. I mean, I work
Okay.
with Terry's stuff, but I also work with, like Northwoods Expos.
Okay.
I'm doing some other stuff. I'm doing Mass Paracon this year. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So, but I tend to do better with both book sales and clients.
Okay.
Having clients actually sit down and get psychic readings from me when I go to
Sure.
spirit fairs as opposed to Paracons. So,
I could see that. I could see that.
yeah,
A lot of people going to Paracons aren't there for the spiritual side.
right,
They're there
Yeah.
because they're interested in the ghosts. They like to see the stuff. They want to meet the celebrities, and that's pretty much it.
right.
Um, but
Yeah,
like you have something to bring to a Paracon, though.
I do.
Something that you can market. Being able to
Mm-hmm.
give readings and stuff.
Yeah.
There are a million people that do what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the time, the only thing I have to really sell are books that I wrote, or I'm doing ghost hunting kits now.
Yeah,
Other than that, unless I can find little tiny knick-knacky small stuff, stickers and things like that, like I'm not a medium. I can't do readings. I don't have the stuff like that to sell.
right.
So there's a lot of conferences where it's like, listen, I don't think I'm going to be able to make enough back selling my books to break even.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you can get me there, then I can't go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last year, every event that I went to, I wasn't paid to be there at all. And I left every event negative $200 to $600.
yeah. I
And
can see
after
where
a
that
dozen
happens.
events, that adds up really quick.
Yes, it
It
does.
does. I have a
So,
$1,000 charge card because of that. That's maxed out.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. it adds up quick. And it's like, what do? You either stop going, and then all your forward momentum and growing yourself and what you're doing and who you are comes to an end, or
Yep.
you just hope that one day you'll make it up.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
hope. I hope.
This is why I do again more spirit fairs than paranormal fairs,
Yeah,
because that's what pays my bills. That's what
sure.
brings money in the door. Um, I do like I don't. Were you there for the Moonbow event?
I wasn't there for the expo. My
Okay.
son has a travel baseball game during the weekends of June and July.
Right.
I came for the investigation part after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really interesting because I didn't really stop to think about how much of a difference there is in energy between the paranormal and the spiritual, right?
Yep.
So I
Yeah,
brought them both together under
yeah,
one roof.
right.
And it was really interesting to watch like these two energies doing this until
Mhm.
it finally started blending about 3/4 of the way through the day.
Sure,
But yeah,
sure.
it was really interesting to watch that. But it's
I
two
can
worlds
see
that
that.
I love that I was able to bring together at least for an afternoon,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I could see that. And you got to be really careful mixing energies like that,
Yeah.
because there are some communities that they're low vibrational communities.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like music communities, rock and hard rock and metal and all that stuff. Like a lot of those communities are very low vibrational.
They can be. Yeah.
They can be,
Yep.
like there's drugs and alcohol and all sorts of bad stuff, and when you try to mix that with the paranormal, they just don't blend very well.
No. No.
And it's easy to see sometimes because the marketing just doesn't really go anywhere, and then people don't show up, and it's just like, well, okay, back to the drawing board again.
Mhm.
Spiritual stuff and then paranormal stuff, I could see that being a little more closely aligned.
Mhm.
Um, but it's gonna depend on the people that show up.
Yeah.
Are the people that show up, are they the higher vibrational that can really mesh with this supernatural, or not supernatural, spiritual stuff,
Mhm.
or are they the debunkers that do nothing but debunk and are really crappy online, and they're wallowing at the bottom of the cesspool because there's so much negativity in them.
Right. We got really lucky with Moonbow because it seemed like a really good mix of people,
Yeah.
you know? It
Yeah.
seemed like a
It was
really
it
good
was good
mix of
vibes
people.
all day long there.
It was, and people as it went on, they were getting more curious about each other. I think what I found interesting
Mm.
were the number of psychics, mediums that were like feeling like there were things coming at them all day, because the spirits at Broadhead, most of them are children, and children are
They
curious.
probably were coming at them. That's
And
right.
like, hey, who are
Yep.
you? What are you
Like,
doing here? And
you
the
can
people,
see me. Poke, poke.
yep. But the people who don't
Yep.
understand that from a paranormal perspective are like, what is happening? I'm bombarded. They're
Hmm.
kids.
Right. You're
Yeah.
you're you're not in a conference center. You're in a haunted location where there's a
Yes.
lot of spirits here.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. And I thought I had made that clear, but
Yeah.
maybe not. I think it still turned out really well. People are like, "Oh, I can't wait for next year." Well, I hope
Mhm.
you find someone to do it next year because I'm not.
It's
Event
a lot of work.
planning, yeah, and event planning is just not where I belong. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was happy with the way it turned out.
I'm
So,
I'm okay helping with an event, like
mm-hmm,
with Niels for the Sands of the Rough House. I'll help,
mm-hmm,
but it's not for me either.
yeah,
Like I'm on the film side of things 'cause that's where I want to be,
right,
and I choose the paranormal because that's where I want to be.
right,
Am I dabbling in other things, horror and thriller and stuff like that? Yeah, I'm getting there. But I like being in the paranormal. I like to share stories, like to film locations and do interviews, and that's what I like.
mm-hmm,
But like I helped with two events this year, and it's like, bleh.
mm-hmm,
No,
yeah,
no, I don't want to host events. This isn't
yeah.
for me.
I actually had fun at the event because I was just walking around and talking to people and making sure everybody had what they needed, and I
Sure.
wasn't tied to a table.
Well, yeah. I've
So,
Yep. That
I've
makes it
been
really
to
nice.
I've been to a couple events where I didn't have a table and I could just do whatever I wanted. And
uh-huh,
I'm like, yes, I'm not making anything back for this event. I'm not going to break even. I'm going to be in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
but to be able to do whatever I want and not be anchored down was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get that opportunity very often. So for me,
Yeah.
that was really nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that last night for the spooky market. Something came up in the morning and I wasn't able to set my booth up. So, but I still popped in about 1:30 later that evening
Mm-hmm.
just to check it out and say I was there and take pictures and whatnot. And I met up with Kara and her husband, and Jack Chavez, and then Rob, who is now Kara's co-host on Paraflix.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And we hung out and took pictures, and it was a really great time that I never would have been able to do if I was anchored to a table.
Yep.
Right.
Went and
Right.
had dinner at a really good place. I had a Reuben sandwich. It was really good. I wouldn't be able to do that
Right.
if I
Yeah.
was stuck to a table. So, sometimes it's best just show up and hang out.
Yep.
Well, see, now we got to know each other because you were anchored to that table and I wasn't.
True. You were able to
Yeah.
walk around.
Yep.
Yep.
That's true. That's very true.
Both
Yeah.
of you were stuck at booths that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of
Yeah.
floating around enjoying my time. And that
Right.
it's great. Just like you're
Right.
saying, when you're able to do that. It's a change of pace.
It
It
is.
is.
And I'm hoping to, one day get a booth buddy that will be a little more consistent and not drop out and stuff like that. But then I'll be able to roam around and they can sell the books and the ghost hunting kits and all that stuff. And then, I'll have the freedom to kind of wander and then
Right.
do all the stuff that I need to do,
We'll talk.
meet people, and yeah. I'll pin you down so I can go wander around.
There you
Hey,
go.
I gotta sit. Hey, if I don't sit at a table, I can't do readings. Plain and
Fair,
simple.
fair, and
Yeah.
that's always been my thing. It's like, I think, especially because I can usually get a double booth at places
Mm-hmm.
because I've got so much crap. And it's like I can't bring the 50-inch TV and my table for one booth. I need a double. Otherwise it doesn't all fit. And it's like, with the double, yeah. If I'm working with like a reader to sit at that table and do readings, they have to stay there. They can't go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
And all they have to do then is just, use the little square reader, do the square thing, and then I'm good.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You just gotta remember, you gotta come back and give me cigarette breaks and food breaks.
Right.
That's all I need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just kind of look over and be like, oh, he's in a reading. He's fine for a while.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
There you go. Yeah, I have rarely had a booth buddy in the 20 plus
It's
years I've
hard.
been doing this. And
Yeah.
even when I do have booth buddies, it's like they don't want to, because I'm doing readings, they don't want to be sitting there feeling like they can hear the whole reading and making the
Sure.
client uncomfortable. So then they get up
Sure.
and roam around. And I totally get that that's a really cool thing for them to do. And I actually appreciate having someone who can, be there with me when there's nothing going on. But yeah, sometimes it can get a lot, to be a lot when you're the only one, when you're
Well, and for me, I do presentations and workshops.
yeah,
I
I do
have to
too.
disappear for an hour or more.
Me too.
Like, what am I gonna do with my
Yep.
booth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's gotta
Almost
stay at the
every
booth.
almost every spirit fair I'm doing now, I'm doing a gallery reading, I'm doing a presentation, I'm,
Mhm.
I've got something going on, a channeling something. So there's an hour that my booth is left unattended.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
and there's been events where I've been at and I'm a little OCD. I keep a track of what my inventory is, and there's been events where stuff's gone missing because I had to disappear for an hour,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's like, damn it, there's no way
Yeah.
around that. You got to
Yeah.
have a booth buddy.
Yep.
So,
And
and I've noticed that. I've noticed like, you know, being at Michigan, I was across from Greg, Dave, Shane, and Vince. They all had somebody there to sit at the booth when need be. Brian and
Yeah.
Rochelle had two people to alternate sitting at the booth, so they can go out and do stuff and then leave, do their presentations, but not leave all their stuff unattended.
right.
And it's like, damn, I need a booth buddy.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
hopefully more than a couple hundred people will see this and you might get one.
Right,
Yep.
right. I'm gonna start a Google Doc application. So
There you go.
reach out. I'll send you the link.
All right.
But
I'll be waiting.
yeah, really though, having a reader at the table is really the best option.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to be there to make money, so they have to stay.
Yeah.
Because then it works for both people. If you just have a regular person off the street as a booth buddy, there's no incentive for them to be there.
Right.
They're not making money, they're not doing anything, they're just there to help you, and that's fantastic. At Michigan, Kat, Will, Jamie Lynn, Annie, they were all, I would not have been as successful without them, because they sat at my booth sometimes for a half hour, 45 minutes, and they didn't have to. They weren't making any
Yeah.
money, they did it because they're my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But like, for someone to be there permanently and to not make any money, like, that's tough. That's hard to do that continuously. But if you could partner up with a reader who sitting there makes money just by sitting there and doing readings, like, then it's at least beneficial for both people.
Right. You have to check your
Yeah.
contracts too, though, because a lot of the places whoever's doing the events often has in their contract that whoever is at the booth has to be under one business name. So if you have
So
a
that I
reader
haven't
and
seen.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that's something that I see in a lot of contracts.
Okay.
So if you're going to share a booth, they have to be like under one business name, and that's where it can really not be beneficial to one or the other
That
business
would make
wise.
sense. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Small
I,
town productions just picked up their own personal psychic.
my own psychic. That's
See?
right.
That's
That's
how you
right.
do it. This is my own
Yeah.
personal psychic. He'll be sitting here doing readings for us today. $49.95. Do
Plus
the whole
tax
spiel. Yeah,
and
plus
Yeah.
shipping.
tax
Tax and
and
shipping.
shipping. Yeah.
Tax and shipping. Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
record it also for you for an extra price if you want video or audio.
Honestly, on that topic, that's not a bad idea,
Mm-hmm.
because I had a reading done by Bree,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and she writes all her stuff down, and then she'll send you pictures of what she wrote. It was, what was it? June or July when I had that reading. I can't
Yep.
remember half of it.
Yep.
I can't remember half of it. But
Yeah.
I can go to those pictures and I can read what she wrote and be like, oh, that's right. That's what she said about that.
Yep.
Having that video to be like, hey, give me 30 minutes, come back. I'll give you an SD card of your reading for you to
Yep.
take home and watch so that you can remind yourself of what was said. That's not a bad idea. I'm going to write that down. Hold on.
A lot of times,
Excellent.
what I'll do is I'll tell whoever I'm reading for, take a picture of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Take a picture to display and let that be what jogs your memory of what we
So
discussed here.
I
we
let
need to
people
erase
record
the last
readings.
2 minutes. The last
Yeah.
2 minutes, we got to erase this so somebody else doesn't take my idea first.
No.
Like,
It's
no,
our
no,
idea.
it's not going to work. It's going to fail. Don't worry about it. Let me fail with it. Don't do it.
Well, if you're gonna fail, then we can't do this together because I'm not about failing.
No, I'm trying to get them to not want to do it.
Oh, okay. No, we just gotta get on it.
Yeah.
Strike
Absolutely.
it while it's hot, baby.
Yeah.
Strike it while it's hot.
It's so funny
100%.
because we get into these conversations. Sometimes I forget we're actually recording them.
Yeah. Well, we
And
did talk about food for about, what, 10 minutes?
I think
Yeah,
so.
but you
Yeah.
know what though? That's usually when you have the best conversations.
Alexa, stop.
When you forget that you're recording and it comes genuine. When you're
Right.
talking about ideas and experiences.
Right. Talking about pushing people off of roofs and stuff.
Yeah.
Dangling them.
Give me what I need. Give me what I need.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Sign the contract or I let go. Plain
What's
and
your
Yeah.
favorite buffet?
Hey, Larry, let's talk about on Alaska.
So on Alaska, I'm doing a Friday night presentation about
Okay.
the most haunted locations of Expeditionary. You're going to
Okay.
see a lot of things that were from the episode, some of the best things that happened. I'll give you an example. Broadhead Manor, a lot of really weird stuff happened to Jen that night, to where it's not covered on screen very well because we're in the principal's office and it's kind of a tight space around that couch. And there's only 2 spots I could put the cameras, and then only 1 spot that I fit not on camera. And as Jen was about to pass out, leaving the room, and she fell forward, she happened to fall forward in the only spot that I could stand. that was also protecting her face from smashing into the TV stand. So you don't see it on camera because that spot's not covered. That's where I'm hiding. But
Mhm.
if I wasn't there, she probably would have died.
Wow.
And like I said, it's not on camera. You can kind of hear us, Larry, catch me. Oh God. Everyone's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But that's a wild story because if I wasn't there, she would have hit her face on the corner of that TV stand.
Yeah.
So, like those are stories and videos and stuff like that that I'll be showing from the show. There are a couple that didn't make the episode, and those are still pretty interesting. Like I can tease one out. I was at the Freeport Masonic Temple, and we were doing a session in the stage auditorium area, like up in the rows of seats. And we were there for a long time because we were getting a ton of activity. I was originally in the previous session talking to two veteran spirits, and I wanted to talk to them again, but this little boy spirit kept trying to get my attention. I'm like, Stop. No, I'm not. I'll talk to you in a minute. I want to talk to these guys. So as I'm sitting there
Let the
talking,
grown-ups talk first.
yeah, well, no, because as I'm sitting there, I feel a little on my arm, and when we looked at it, it was like a perfect circle of teeth. And I'm like, did you just bite me? Did you bite me? And for a good
Naughty.
like a good minute or two, we're like, look at that, you can see the teeth on my arm. And then later that night, Dan's on the stage with his dowsing rods, asking questions, and he asked, did a spirit bite Larry? Yes. Was it because Larry wasn't paying attention to him? Yes. Damn it. Like that didn't make the episode. But it's
Why the
like
hell not?
because of the
That's
the, lo-
like,
the location, they didn't want the spirits. They didn't want people thinking the spirits were biting people.
oh, come
And
on.
it's like my reaction. I'm joking about it. I'm like, you bit me, you little scamp. It
Yeah.
wasn't a
Right?
bad thing. Like it happens. I've been grabbed, I've been pinched, I've been punched, I've been bit now. That's a part of the game. But I'll have it for the presentation. So,
Awesome. So
you
is
know,
there like a separate ticket for your presentation
there
or
is. If there's a Friday event that for some reason I can't invite people to. I
okay.
don't know why. Like it goes to the invite screen and then it does that stupid Facebook swirly circle
Okay.
and it never goes away. I can't invite people to the event. All I can do is share it.
Hmm.
So, and
Yeah, talk
I,
to Danny. He's the tech guy.
I'm a co-host on the event. It's a
Okay.
Facebook thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Okay.
So that's Friday night. If you get the ticket to the presentation Friday night, you get in Saturday for free.
Right.
So you get both days for the price of the Friday.
Okay. What time
Um,
does the Friday start?
Friday, I believe is 6:30. Let
Okay.
me let me see. Let me double check that just in case. I believe it's 6:30. Uh, that's weird. Didn't pull up. Why didn't you pull up? Facebook does just not like me right now. There we
Yeah.
go. Friday.
Friday.
Ugh. 6:30 to 8:30. Yeah.
Okay.
2 hour presentation. It's a $20 for the event, but again, you get in free the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So you get both days for going Friday. 2 hour talk. I'll of course be there to hang out afterwards and ask questions and talk about stuff. But yeah, it's the event is on Facebook, and I can maybe get the link.
I can look up the link too.
Okay,
That's fine. Because I'm going to be there on Saturday with you.
you are. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So we will both be there. Um, you said, wouldn't it be cool if we got set up next to each other? I'm like, well, I can make that happen.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
I don't know anything about the space. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I'm just kind of leaving that up to the gods, and I'll walk in and be like, where am I at? So
Yeah.
if for some reason I happen to be next to you guys, yay.
Yay. You will be.
I won't be there.
Sweet.
No.
Oh, you're not gonna be there?
No, I might
Oh,
pop. I might be able to pop in just to visit, but actually setting up, I won't be there.
how far from is on Alaska from you?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Hold on.
I think for me it's like a good 4 hour drive. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
for me it's like 3.5.
I'm gonna try to invite somebody. Nope, still get the little thing.
Oh, wow. Weird.
Facebook, I don't like you. I'm gonna share it, and then I'm gonna tag all the people that I want to invite.
There
That's
you
what I'm
go.
gonna do.
There
Yeah.
you
Like,
go.
come to my event, please. Come hear me talk. Maybe
Yeah, I'm actually
I'll
really
invite
interested in
Jen.
hearing you talk. I'm assuming that I believe we have set up that night too, so we can set up um,
Mm,
on Friday night. But I am planning on being there Friday.
sweet,
So
sweet.
Three hours and 5 minutes away.
That's not too bad.
No.
That's not too bad.
so
I've driven to Great Lakes, Gettysburg. So once you've been to Gettysburg in 11 and a half hours, 3 hours is nothing.
Right?
I
Well,
used
it's
to,
5.5 to Mankato, and I went out there for that. So
yeah, I used to remember like going home from Broadhead. I'd be like, oh God, it's an hour and a half. Now it's gonna be like, oh, it's only an hour and a half. Yay, I
right.
could do that.
Hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah,
I've
that's not
driven to
even one
both.
tank.
I've driven to both coasts for events. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you
I
know,
uh, I haven't done that yet. I did actually just get picked up for an event in Maine. So that'll be my first time
Nice.
up there. Um, like in the state period. Like I'm going places. I'm all over the place now.
yes, you are.
So
Yes,
Rock
you
on.
are.
I'm excited. I'm gonna meet up with my friend Russ, who has already promised me dinner. I'm gonna get a lobster because I'm in Maine,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that's gonna be a good event next year.
So
I've got
just
another
a
one
heads
in
up.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
Just a heads up on the lobster thing. They will serve it to you completely with the head and everything. Just so you
Oh,
know. Just so
I'll
you
remember
know.
that.
That's so you play with your food ahead of time. Have a little
Sure, sure.
conversation with them, make them
just
dance.
letting you know.
I will have to remember that, or I'll just be like, hey, I'm a Pris, not from this state. Can you just give me the meat on top of the shell, like at Red Lobster, please? I am not He-Man. I'm delicate flower.
Are you saying you're civilized and you can't just rip into it and be a carnivore?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah.
At one
That's something we're gonna have to work on if we're gonna do this booth buddy thing here.
So at one point I was that way, and then I grew a beard out, and then stuff kept getting in my beard, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna learn how to use a fork now
There you
because I
go.
hate when my beard is all like crusty, and then I have to like get the crust out of it. It drives me nuts.
But but that's flavor for later. It's a flavor saver.
No, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it just makes my face itchy.
I gotta
Okay,
learn you
so
youngins.
I am just going to share a little bit more about the Onalaska event.
All
Um,
right.
let's see. I am doing the gallery reading actually on Saturday at 1:30. So at that event, I will be there doing the gallery reading. So that's why I have to set up next to Larry so he can make sure nobody steals my stuff. Um,
Yep. I do have a
Yep.
presentation at some point that day.
yeah, you do. Actually, I'm looking at it. You are
I think I'm
at
in the afternoon, right? Like
afternoon
3-ish,
3:30.
3:30. Yeah.
3:30. Yeah. So let's see. It is the Onalaska Psychic, Paranormal, and Wellness Fair by Soul and Synergies, presented by Soul and Synergy. So we have a great lineup of speakers here, and I'm excited about it because I've been good friends with Terry and Danny since before they started doing events. So it's for me, it's fun to get together and hang out with them. But yeah, that is at the Omni Center, the Onalaska Omni Center on Riders Club Road in Onalaska, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So that will be the 21st of September.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
looking forward to it. The last of Terry's
Wait a
events that I
minute.
went to was Janesville.
okay.
So that tells you how long ago it was the last one I went to.
Yeah. What were you
Yep.
saying, Russ?
Don't we have something coming up on the 21st September, Larry? At
Um,
Broadhead?
well, yeah, but that's a different thing. Are you
I
doing the
know.
27th?
Not sure.
Okay.
I thought you asked me to come down and see you on the 21st on there.
I did, but something happened. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it got
I'll
changed.
it did. I'll tell you
See,
about it
you
later.
got to communicate with
I know.
people, you know.
I know.
All
I
right.
completely forgot. We'll talk about it after the recording.
After the
Yeah.
show, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And speaking of which, we've kind of come to the end of our time here. So, Larry, thank you very much. This has been I think it's been a really good talk about what, when people are looking at getting into filmmaking or publishing or whatever, there's a lot to consider. And
There is.
I feel like we
Yep.
have really given people a lot of information that might be helpful to them. Do you have anything else that you wanted to throw out there? Like let's just cover September, because if you go
Okay.
beyond September, people are going to get really confused.
Well,
Right.
sure. I completely get that. I completely get that. So, September actually is a month to where a lot of my stuff got dropped. So like a lot of events that were originally scheduled, they're not doing anymore. So I had a small community event the first weekend of September, and they ended up canceling that. So, like the 7th and 8th, I'm actually off. I'm gonna try to do something productive. The 14th, I'm at the Illinois Paranormal Conference in Rockford, Illinois, put on by Haunted Rockford. Chris Fleming was supposed to be the headliner for that, but with what's going
We
on,
know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's going to headline it now. They'll figure it out, but you know, we all wish Chris the best, so I get
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely get it.
Yeah.
And then obviously on Alaska the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another community-based event on the 28th and 9th that dropped out. So I got
Okay.
2 weekends open in September that I'm trying to plug in with other things. And then October is October.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll deal with October later.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah.
just to let y'all know, this Friday night, I will be a guest host with Greg Koss on his podcast. So I will be Greg's host at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Friday the 6th. On the 7th, I am at the Holistic Health Fair in Kingsford, Michigan, and I'll be doing a gallery reading there as well at 1 o'clock. And I'll be doing readings throughout the day, individual readings throughout the day, and that's from 11 to 3, I believe. Then we have on Alaska, and the 29th, I have the Illuminate Fair in Naperville, Illinois, where I'll be doing readings, and I will be doing a presentation on energy protection in the paranormal.
Wow.
Right.
So,
Nice.
yeah, so that's what I have so far for September. And, any dates I didn't mention, I'm open. If you want me to come and be there, let me know. So,
Yeah.
same with Larry.
Oh, there goes my cockatoo.
Uh-oh.
I wish there was like a central place to go to find events.
Right.
It's like you have to hunt and peck and find things just to be
Mhm.
able to be like, oh, there's an event this weekend. I've been looking for months. Why am I just finding out now? Because there's nowhere to
Exactly.
go.
Yeah. And so many people have set up places to go that it just confuses the issue. So,
It does.
yeah.
Or they'll set it up and they'll run it for like 6 months and then they just abandon it.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
then
like, well,
there's a website out there with 3-year-old conferences on it. Well, that's not
3-year-old.
helpful. Thank you.
No, it's
Right.
not. No, it's not.
All right. Well, thanks again, Larry, for joining us, for getting up and joining us prior to coffee, which is quite an amazing feat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I got energy from somewhere. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go make that coffee though. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Rez, what do you got coming up?
I'm actually wide open. I have
Okay.
nothing happening in September, so
All right.
anybody wants me to show up or come through, get a hold of me. I'm always looking for something to do.
Yeah, you can find all of us on Facebook, so we're
Yeah.
all pretty easy to
Mhm.
find.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks again, gentlemen. It's been an enlightening morning, and I wish you both a great day. And for everyone out there, subscribe, ring the bell, follow us, share us, get us out there. You know how it works. Do all the
Yep.
things.
All of the things that
All the
require clicking.
things. Yes. And again, thank you
Click
all
away.
so much. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.